Hi everybody, here's the question for you. Can you go fishing on the coldest, wettest, windiest, rainiest, nastiest day of the year and still catch fish? We're going to attempt to answer that question today at a lake that I've never seen before in my life. This ought to be interesting and challenging at the same time. I'm glad you're along with us. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now. That is a fish. Oh man, look at this.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southwest region every week.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. Woo!
This is Let's Fish.
Hi everybody and welcome into this week's show. We're coming to you this week from western Arkansas. Last year about this time, we visited the first in a chain of 4 lakes in the western part of the state that are all loaded with bass and catfish and white bass and crappie. It was called Dirk's Lake and we caught some giant crappie out of that lake. This year and this week, we're visiting the second in this chain of lakes. It's called Gillom Lake. I'll show it to you in just a second, but to go out there this week, we're taking the Low Stinger 198. It's an aluminum boat, fully rigged with my Mercury Pro XS 4-stroke outboard engine, and that is where we're going fishing. It's called Gillom Lake. It's spread out up in the mountains. It's got lots of fishing cover, lots of arms and ditches and ravines coming in, fed by a river. We'll talk about all that a little bit later. I don't know what we'll catch today. We're going to fish for maybe bass and crappie, white bass. We'll see what bites. As you can see, I'm not wearing my normal fishing gear. It is a very cold, windy, and rainy day today, but we're going to take one for the team and get out there anyway and see what we can catch. While we're doing that, we're taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters from lakes, rivers, and bays right where you live, both saltwater and freshwater. Right now, we got the boat launched. Next time you see me, I'll be out there fishing for something. Right now, let's get it all started. Back at the studio in your weekend planner.
Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Let's Fish. These Salooner tables are predicting good game fish activity throughout both days this weekend. Peak game fish activity begins about midday, around 11:46 Saturday and 1:20 on Sunday. Nighttime action will begin at midnight on both Saturday and Sunday. Depending on your area, expect the sun to rise around 6:40 and set around 6:39. Nights will be dark with a new moon this weekend. Also, don't forget to set your clocks forward 1 hour Saturday night for daylight savings time. We'll be right back to check all of the current fishing reports from throughout the area, and I'll return with Bassmaster Elite Angler Gerald Swindle on this week's Ask the Pro feature. Stick with us.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury. Go boldly. Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder. Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Get our free fishing guide at orangebeach.com. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor. The tour is back. Blazer, high-performance boats for high-performance anglers.
Spotted bass, largemouth. Boy, he is down there some kind of deep too, and he's not wanting to come up. There's one, got him. Right where he was supposed to be. What is it? It could be anything. Could be a white bass, could be a crappie, could be a spotted bass, largemouth. Boy, he is down there some kind of deep too, and he's not wanting to come up. It acts like a white bass. And now into the boat he goes. Still haven't seen him. Where is he? There he is. It's a largemouth. Come here. Got him. All right. There's a good start. Look at there. Hit a little soft plastic bait. That's a Strike King scissor shad. He kind of tore it up a little bit too. Perfect bait for this. Well, Welcome back, everybody. We are on Gillom Lake in Arkansas today. There's a great start right there. Just a good, solid largemouth bass. Real light white color for coming out of the winter time. Let him go back right here. Down there real deep. I was afraid he might have the bends, but no, he swam right back down there. Let me show you this. This is absolutely textbook structure and cover right here for largemouth bass and really any fish when the water temperature is cold. As you can see here, this is almost a sheer rock or granite cliff that just slides straight off in the water, and there is 50 to 70 feet of water almost right in front of my trolling motor here. So it gives those fish, all species, but that bass, a chance to be down there in the warmest water deep, but he can come up on these rocks and feed on some of the balls of bait fish. And I'll show you some of these bait fish. I've driven around out here and seen some schools of shad out here, and they're just roaming out here in this deep water, 50 to 70 feet deep, but the shad are not on bottom. They're suspended up about 20 feet down, so those bass can hang around underneath the shad and swim up underneath them and feed and pin them against that rock structure.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with Cajun Paradise Charters in Hackberry, Louisiana, bringing you your report for Louisiana for Let's Fish. We're going to start off on Caney Lake right now. I tell you what, the bass are transitioning from deep water to shallow water. Water temperatures are warming up. Tell you what, those big fish are starting to move shallow. All we ask you, catch some of those big girls full of eggs, catch, photo, release, take care of them. That's going to be the fish for the future. Also, saltwater right here. We went out on Calcasieu Lake, positive feedback, good reports. Fish kill didn't seem like it did too bad on us over here in the saltwater scene. Caught lots of redfish, lots of speckled trout. Right now, seems like scented soft plastics and fresh shrimp for your redfish. Tell you what, the trout, they were still deep. They were in 15, 20 foot of water. Light jig heads, Rockport Rattler, 1/8 and 1/4 ounce with some soft plastics seem to be the key there. For Old Cajun Field, Captain Kevin Broussard saying happy fishing. May God bless, and we're going to see you right here next week.
Here he comes. I got one coming after my jig. Got him. There he is. Look at this. Good crappie. Big old crappie. Look at this. There's a Gillom special for you. Look at this. We are on my first trip at Lake Gillom in western Arkansas today, and that is a specimen right there now. Look what I've done on a cold, nasty, rainy, overcast kind of a day. What a perfect specimen of a black crappie that is. All right, I'm going to stick that one on a scale real quick. Hang on, time out. I'm going to grab it. We'll see what he weighs. All right, just like that, I've grabbed my Academy H2O Express digital scale, and let's put him on it and see what he weighs. 2 pounds, 0 ounces. Look at that. There's a good solid 2-pound crappie for you there, folks. Man, well, there's our second species of the day. And so what I've done, I'm going to put this fish back. What a great fish. There he goes. Well, as you can see, we've made a switch. I put the bass rod down, and I picked up a crappie rod, and I'm fishing out off the main river channel. It's the, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, the Cossatot River. We'll give that a try. May be wrong. I'm not from Arkansas, but that's the main river that feeds this lake. And I'm right on the edge of the river channel, and I'm looking at some scattered underwater timber here. And I'm just fishing down, looking on my Lowrance active target. I've got it on my pole here. That's my Fishing Specialties pole. And I can point it any direction I want to, and I'm literally watching schools of bait under the water. And I told you I'd show you this bait, so let me show you a shot of it back there on my Lowrance Elite unit there. And you can see all that bait suspended down below the surface. We're in real deep water, but the bait is not anywhere near the bottom. It's suspended up 15, 20, 25 feet below the surface. And so I'm just looking around these schools of bait and trying to locate these crappie, and I'm literally sight pitching to the ones that I can see. Every once in a while, one will be sitting on the edge of a piece of timber, a pole timber, one single stump sticking straight up, or they'll just be roaming around out here in open water on these open schools. So that's another good way to catch them. Anytime that they're not spawning, it's a good way to catch them, but particularly when it's cold, pre-spawn, they're not thinking about spawning yet, they're just roaming up and down this river channel. It's a great way to catch crappie. Oh yeah, that's a big old crappie. Look at here. That's a big old crappie. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to Lake Gillom in Arkansas. We're out on a cold, nasty day today, and I'm actually seeing a little pod of fish out here. I don't know what they are. I'm just fishing today. Caught some bass early. I'm actually kind of fishing around for some crappie. They've got huge ones in this lake. There's one right there. And I'm just looking around out here in open water. Let's see what that is, if it's a crappie. Got some big white bass in here too. Oh yeah, that's a big old crappie. Look at here. That's a big old crappie. Yeah. There we go. Oh man, look at that big daddy. Look at this, get this glove off. Let me tell you, it is some kind of freezing cold today. We've had a big cold front come through. Look at the belly on that. So they're pre-spawn right now. The crappie are staging. Their egg sacs are ripening up right now, and they're getting ready for the spawn. They're not anywhere close to it yet. The spawn here in Arkansas is probably not going to happen until late April, something like that. Again, water's colder this year than normal, and it's got to warm up into the 60s before these crappie will spawn. So they're just out here roaming around in deep water. I showed you a little earlier the balls of bait out here. And so rather than structure and cover and timber and stuff like that, I'm actually using the bait as my target. I'm following the schools of bait around and then looking for the individual crappie scattered around the balls of bait. Okay, let's see what this one weighs. 2 pounds and 3 ounces. There you go.
The sunshine feels good on the face, and it is wonderful to be turning the pages through the month of March now, because that means good spring fishing is just around the corner. Right now across the state of Oklahoma, we still have a lot of cold water, upper 30s, low 40-degree range, and many of those lakes still have a lot of stain to them, so that combination of mud and cold makes for some tough fishing. Got some of my crappie guys that are doing well off the docks, especially at Keystone, Lake Ten Killer, Lake Eufaula, and especially the docks that seem to have at least 15 foot of water below them. Bass fishing, I keep hearing umbrella rigs are doing the best right now, so that means the lower half of the lakes, kind of down in the dam sections. A lot of those reports coming in are talking about fishing those rigs extremely deep, like 15, 20 plus feet, and around some type of structure. Rock piles, debris on the bottom, so don't be afraid to fish those umbrella rigs deep for some bass at this time. White bass, we're getting really close on those. We'll have those reports coming up in the weeks ahead. It's going to be getting good. It's fishing time in Oklahoma, and you can't catch them if you don't go.
Hi everyone, Captain Greg Arm here bringing you this week's Texas Coastal Fishing Report. Now let's start down south in Port Mansfield. Now with the extreme cold snap we had here on the Texas coast, the lower Laguna took a big hit. Captain Wayne Davis said that by no means did they avoid a major fish kill, especially the speckled trout. However, the last few days, he has seen a flicker of light and is actually catching a few trout that Captain Wayne thought may not occur for some time. Also, he is catching a few redfish on the flats. K-Wiggler Willowtails is doing the trick. Now, Captain Wayne said that now, more than ever, is a good time to practice catch and release until these fish rebound back, and they will. Now let's move up the coast just a bit to Baffin Bay. I just got off the phone with Captain Chris Martin, and he said their speckled trout took a hard hit as well. He says their main targets right now is redfish and drum. Again, conservation is critical. Now let's get a quick update here in Galveston. We're catching lots of bay snapper and redfish along the Galveston jetties, both north and south. And we're catching specks and flounder in the back lakes. Hey, remember, if you want to fish Galveston or Freeport, inshore or offshore, give me a call, check out our websites. I'd love to have you aboard. I'm Captain Greg Worm, and I'll see you next week.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Power Pole, Total Boat Control. Visit Mississippi. Good times are close by. Low Boats, 50 years of boating craftsmanship. Balls Out, made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders.
Look at that big daddy. That is the white crappie. Bars down the side. Hey everybody, we're still on Gillom Lake in western Arkansas, and while we were away at a commercial break and before we could get the camera up, I snatched another good-sized crappie out of the lake, and I wanted to show it to you. I threw in the live well for just a second so that we could grab it and show you what another one of these crappie looked like. Look at that big daddy. That is the white crappie. Bars down the side. Just another big one. That one will go probably not quite as big as the last one I caught, but close to 2 pounds, something like that. If we were keeping them today, that would make a good slab, but we're not. I want to mention a couple of things. Gillom Lake is one in a chain of 4 lakes in this same area, and they're all very similar. Even though it's only 1,370 acres, it fishes a lot bigger than that. As we can show you, it's got arms just stretching off everywhere. There's all kinds of ravines and ditches and feeder creeks, and of course the main river channel that snakes its way up the lake. And if you want to book a guide trip and come catch some of these big crappie like we're catching, Dustin Holmes stays on top of these fish year-round. He's got a great guide service. He can put you on the fish. He follows their patterns, their migrations, and it doesn't matter what time of the year. If you want to catch big crappie in Arkansas, Dustin Holmes is your man. And there's the contact information at the bottom of your screen. We're having a great day, even though the weather is really gnarly today. We had another little cold front push through, the winds out of the north. As you can see, it's just socked in fog. It rains quite a bit off and on. Got all the cold weather gear on. You would not know that it's headed into springtime.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Renaissance Cooking Systems. Now they're introducing their new American Renaissance grills. They're made with 304 stainless steel with dual wall construction in the body and frame, and feature spring-assisted easy lift lids. They really are America's best value in outdoor kitchens. Now last week we talked a little bit about the cold weather that came through Texas, and that's still having an effect on our fishing. Up on Texoma in the northern portion of the state, they experienced a shad kill. What that means is that the stripers are looking for food right now, and you can provide that with a 1-ounce jig head with a shad swim body on it, or one of the larger striper-sized umbrella rigs, also with shad colored baits. Now smallmouth in Texas exist in Texoma and Belton and some other lakes, and they will trigger their spawn activity when the water's about 10 degrees cooler than the largemouths will, which means right now is their transition time. Be ready for that. Have your square-billed crankbaits, your swim baits, your spinner baits. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by Renaissance Cooking Systems, America's best value in an outdoor kitchen. Be sure and check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lose. Feel the difference. Waypoint Customs. Customize your boat your way. Strike King. Tie one on. Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades. Fishing Specialties. Makers of the premier mount assembly for live sonar.
So glad you're back with us. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Kenny would like to know, what is the funniest thing that you've ever seen on a boat ramp? For an answer, we asked the funniest guy in fishing, Gerald Swindle.
The funniest thing I've ever seen on a boat ramp, I seen somebody back a brand new Tahoe all the way down in the water. The headlights were still on. When I got there to put in, all you could see was the light sticking out. And I couldn't stand it, and I looked at him, I go, "You gonna leave it there?" There's nothing you can do. I'm like, "Yeah, it's gone." When you pull up and the headlights are past the pier, you're like, "This ain't good." And the dude's just standing there like.
Thanks so much, Gerald. If you have a question for one of the pros, just visit our website, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send it in. Now let's check out the latest Big Catch of the Week winner.
We are back at the boat ramp, and it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. He's Timothy Smith of McKinney, Texas, showing a 51-pound blue catfish he caught at Lake Lavon in Texas. If you'd like to be our next winner, go to our website at Let's Fish TV and go to the bottom of the homepage, click on the Big Catch of the Week area and follow the instructions to send us the details and your photo.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
On the Academy Right Stuff, it's the right gear to go catch bass and crappie like you saw us catching on this week's episode. I want to mention one brand new rod that I'm fishing with for the very first time, and it's perfect for catching these bass. It's the Lew's TP1X Speed Stick. Now it comes in all kinds of actions and weights, and this is the multi-purpose spinning rod. It's perfect for fishing the soft plastics like we caught the bass on this week, but they make lots of others as well, and you can check out the full line of Lew's TP1X Speed Sticks at the Lew's website at lews.com. Also, there are a couple of baits that I want to show you that we used. The one on the top is the Strike King Scissor Shad. It's got some little swimming legs on it. It's a real bright color for the stained water. It's got a real subtle action for these slow bass in deep water like you saw us catching this week. And then the one below that is the Strike King Wally Marshall Lightning Shad. Again, it's a little small, subtle, soft plastic bait. It's in the electric chicken color, which is chartreuse and pink with a pink head, 1/8 ounce size, and that was perfect for fishing these deep water crappie. When I was a teenager, my brother and I mowed lawns for money. We wanted to buy stuff, and so we needed to figure out how to make some money. I'll never forget the thrill when we would knock on someone's door and they would say yes to our lawn mowing service. Well, that same principle works the same way today. Lots of folks have been through a really hard time over the last year or so, and many have lost their jobs and their income. There are two opposite ends of the spectrum on the reaction to that. One is to sit at home and feel sorry for yourself, but the other is to get out there, innovate, take some risks, get out of your comfort zone, and maybe figure out a new way to earn some money. And to those who are willing to accept and take on that risk, they just might get that same thrill that we got as teenagers when someone says yes. I hope you enjoyed our trip to Gillom Lake in western Arkansas this week. If you'd like to make your very own trip here and you need a guide, contact my buddy Dustin Holmes. He guides on all 4 of the lakes here in western Arkansas. They're all very similar, and they've all got big old crappie and good-sized bass like you saw us catch on this week's show. You can contact him at the information you see on your screen. From western Arkansas, I'm Barry Stokes saying let's fish, everybody. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.